Effects of changes in demand and supply on equilibrium price, part 6. In this lesson, we are going to analyze the effect of decrease both in demand and supply simultaneously on the equilibrium price and quantity. 1. Decrease in demand is greater than decrease in supply. To begin with, the market is in equilibrium at E1 where demand curve DD cuts the supply curve SS. The price is P1. The quantity is M2. The demand decreases due to a decrease in the price of substitute good in the market. The new demand curve is D0 D0. The demand curve shifts to the left. The supply also decreases due to a few existing producers left the industry. The supply curve also shifts to the left. The new supply curve is S0 S0. The magnitude of decrease in demand is greater than decrease in supply. The immediate effect is there arises an excess supply condition to the tune of E2 E3. At the existing price, the sellers want to supply E3 units, but the consumers want to buy E2 units. The sellers compete with one another by willing to offer the product at a lower price. They move down along the supply curve S0 S0. As the price moves down, the buyers expand the demand by moving down along the demand curve D0 D0. At last, a new equilibrium is reached at E4 where new demand curve D0 D0 cuts the supply curve S0 S0. The new price is P0. The new equilibrium quantity is M1. The net result is the price decreases from P1 to P0. The quantity decreases from M2 to M1. The impact of decrease in demand and supply is partly absorbed by a fall in price and partly by a fall in quantity. 2. Decrease in demand is equal to decrease in supply. Look at this graph. The initial equilibrium is E2. The equilibrium price is P1. Equilibrium quantity is M2. The demand decreases. The new demand curve is D0 D0. The buyers move to the new demand curve. There arises an excess supply of E1 E2. At the existing price P1, the sellers want to sell E2 units, but the consumers want to buy E1 units. The sellers respond quickly by decreasing the supply to the full extent. The new supply curve is S0 S0. The new equilibrium is found at E1. Since decrease in demand is exactly matched by decrease in supply, the price remains at the same level P1. The quantity decreases to M1. Final result is there is no change in price, quantity alone decreases. The impact of equal decrease in demand and supply falls fully on quantity. 3. Decrease in demand is less than decrease in supply. To begin with, the market is in equilibrium at E1 where demand curve DD cuts the supply curve SS. The price is P0. The quantity is M2. The demand decreases. The demand curve shifts to left. The new demand curve is D0 D0. The supply also decreases. The supply curve shifts to the left. The new supply curve is S0 S0. The magnitude of decrease in demand is less than decrease in supply. The immediate effect is there arises an excess demand condition to the tune of E2 E3. At the existing price P1, the consumers want to buy E3 units, but the sellers are willing to supply E2 units. The consumers compete with one another to buy more by offering a higher price. They move up along the demand curve D0, D0. As the price moves up, the sellers expand the supply by moving up along the supply curve S0, S0. At last, a new equilibrium is reached at E4, where new demand curve D0, D0 cuts the supply curve S0, S0. The new price is P1. This is higher than P0. The new equilibrium quantity is M1. It is less than M2. The net result is the price increases from P0 to P1. The quantity decreases from M2 to M1. The impact of decrease in demand and supply is partly absorbed by an increase in price and partly by a fall in quantity. We shall meet again in part 7.